Time now for an in-depth look at the market news on this Friday, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for coming on today.
Good afternoon.
So all three main indexes on Wall Street were down overnight because of the latest developments with the coronavirus outbreak. What exactly was the story there on Thursday?
Sure. Wall Street closed in the red on Thursday as fears of the coronavirus slowing the global economy weighted the sentiment. On Wednesday, China's National Health Commission reported that 74,576 cases of the virus and 2,118 deaths on the mainland have been confirmed, while the South Korea reported a spike in the virus cases. Meanwhile, the International Air Transport Association estimated that the coronavirus outbreak will cost Chinese airlines about $12.8 billion in revenues and nearly $29 billion for the carriers in the South Asia Pacific region. All this news has resulted into the U.S. market showing some correction after continuing to break the record highs. Dow was down about 0.44%. S&P 500 was down 0.38%. Nasdaq was down 0.67%. However, though, the small cap did quite well because of expected boosting measures, and it showed a rise of 0.13%.
All right. Well, Korean stocks are down sharply today with so many more cases of the virus being reported. How's this playing out on the Kospi and the Kosdaq?
Yes, clearly Korea is panicking about the incident of the coronavirus outbreak. South Korea's Kospi declined by more than 1.5%, around 1.5%. And the Kosdaq is down 2%, and that is after a quite significant down yesterday. So it's been quite significant decline of the Korean equity market. The reason for that is because the Yonhap News Agency, quoting the health authority, reported that there are 52 new confirmed cases of the coronavirus, bringing the total numbers to 156 in the country. Meanwhile, the Reuters reported that the chip maker of SK Hynix said that on Thursday that 800 of its workers had quarantined themselves after one trainee had close contact with a virus patient in the southeastern city of Daegu, the epicenter of the outbreak that's happening in South Korea at this point in time. Overall, people are quite concerned about the spread and the rise of the patient. And if this kind of speed actually happens, the dampening of the economic growth rate is going to be quite significant. We already see that more than 50% decline of a lot of the activities, domestic consumer activities in regards to restaurants and events and whatnot, and that is all affecting quite negatively. So everybody's quite concerned about that, and because of that, the correction seems to be quite severe. However, though, we are expecting some boosting measures to come out because of the fatality rate of this virus is not that high. The initial impact might be quite concerned at this point in time, but as the time passed by, we think that people will be looking at the level of the boosting measures, and therefore Korean equity market should show some recovering trend going into sometime next week.
Well, there's the impact of the outbreak here, but also the supplies in China, I suppose, are a concern.
Yes.
But we also have the spread of the coronavirus sending the Korean currency to over 1,200 won to the dollar now. What's your outlook in that regard?
Yes, as you said, the Korean won have depreciated all the way down to now 1206.8 today. Yesterday, it hit the 1206, and then it kind of appreciated to 1200 level, and then back up again today. Because of all this is due to the concern about the domestic consumption. We already know that Korea has one of the highest level of the consumer debt as GDP, which is well above 100%. and the loan-to-deposit ratio is extremely high for Korea. And with this kind of news, a lot of the mom-and-pop shops and the restaurants and all the relative small businesses of Korea will suffer quite significantly as the sales goes down by more than 50% in this month. So clearly that is putting a dent. And obviously because of that, we are expecting an additional rate cuts might be coming soon. And due to that, the Korean won is depreciating relative to U.S. dollars. Now, previously, it did hit as high as 1230 several months ago and has appreciated all the way down to 1156, but now it is breaking above that, close to that number. We think that the trend overall is not going to be any movement of appreciation in the future. It will gradually continue to depreciate because coronavirus has impacted that Korean economic growth rate will slow down to maybe as low as 1.6% versus global economic growth rate of well above 2%. So clearly that is resulting into the currency depreciation, and that trend is not going to change that quickly.
All right, Mr. Yu, we'll have to leave it there for today. Thanks again for coming on, and have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Thank you.